Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. Today with me my newest guest, Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. I was really looking forward to this phone, so I won't prolong it. Let's fly with the material. As for appearance, for me is the one of the nicest smartphones. Anyway, the Galaxy line has always liked me. Everything here is well matched. We have IP68, so there is no need to worry about some rain or splashing. This is a slight evolution from S22 Ultra. I have S22 Ultra at my home, so I can compare them one to one. The biggest difference is the flatter bezels, more squared on the S23 Ultra. The screen is also less curved than in the S22 Ultra, and I will be honest, I like it better in that smartphone than S22 Ultra. As for the screen, it's one of the best screens on the market, if not the best screen overall. Here we have the great blacks, very good colors, which of course if they would be too bright for someone, we can change them a bit in the settings from vivid to such more natural colors. We have QHD plus resolution, we have increased refresh rate to 120 Hz. This is one of the better screens. On the other hand, I'm surprised that Samsung here didn't raise the brightness in this screen, because we have actually the same brightness that was in S22 Ultra. And this is really enough brightness, even in the condition of very strong sun, which I have here in Malta. I didn't notice that I was lacking in brightness at all. But I found out that in iPhone 14 Pro Max, this screen is a little brighter. What I can a little bit complain about is the fingerprint. I expected it to work better on S23 Ultra. And it's not even that it's slow, because if you put your finger right, it works really fast. But I have the impression that this fingerprint should work a little better. But maybe we need to wait for an update. And we have, of course, face unlock. It works very fine, but it's only to speed up unlocking the phone, nothing else. And when it comes to the performance of this smartphone, here we have Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, not an Exynos. And in this phone, everything fires up very quickly. There are actually no lags here. And this is quite strange, because on Exynos, however, these lags happened. This smartphone is really fluid. I guess the only faster phone I had before this Samsung was the Zenfone 9, but the animation in this phone were shorter, so that could be also the reason. If I were to compare, for example, this Samsung to Pixel 7 Pro, because I have been using it for the last 4 months, it's really good. It's a very similar level here. I think I can say that Samsung started to equal the pure Android. Animation feels butterly smooth in S23 Ultra. What I miss most from the Pixel compared to the S23 Ultra is the haptics, because haptics on the Pixel is so on point, right where it needs to be. Here is okay, but a little bit of that haptics from Pixel is missing for me here. I didn't notice any excessive heating here, and I just wanted to say that in my place in Malta at that moment is very warm, because in the sun 23-24 degrees. So some photos, videos really don't make a special impression on this phone. In the GSAM battery, I registered a maximum of probably 35 degrees, and that would be all. I didn't feel that this phone somehow overheated, and for this a really big plus for Samsung. I would like to say that it is one of the best phones out when it comes to the call quality. I had zero issues here. The signal doesn't disappoint either, but I will touch more this topic later when we get to the battery. We have S Pen here, and of course someone can to say that is an unnecessary feature. Some need it, others don't. I use S Pen a lot. When I do some online courses, I always use a stylus to take handwritten notes, and There is the one feature that I loved about the stylus on this phone is the photo remote, that taking a picture of myself remotely using the S Pen. Even more, the front camera on this Samsung is very good, but we will get to that later too. And now the speakers. I think the speakers on this phone, other than iPhone 14 Pro or ROG Phone from Asus, they are some of the best speakers on the market. In addition, it's a very good phone for listening to music on headphones. If you have Bluetooth headphones with good codecs, you are really able to get very good sound on headphones with this phone. And now the camera. What does it look like here? I will tell you that under condition of daily use, it is really good. These are some of the best photos you can get in a smartphone. On the other hand, since I had the Pixel 7 Pro for 4 months, I will strongly compare this camera to the Pixel. And this is a phone that has one of the greatest amount of detail you can get in the smartphone. HDR does well in such conditions of everyday use, but there are situations, for example, when it comes to the grass, where it seems to me that sometimes this grass is too green, the colors are too saturated. Sometimes in artificial light conditions, it happens that Samsung boosts colors a little more, but it's no longer as aggressive and it used to be earlier. I would say that Samsung is starting to match the Pixel very closely when it comes to the naturalness of the photos, but the HDR here works a little more aggressively than in the Pixel 7 Pro. Sometimes these photos are much more heavily brightened and much more heavily sharpened. So it may not to be as high as, for example, in 14 Pro Max, but you can see the difference that sometimes the Pixel photos seem a bit more natural. However, selfie and portrait for me on this phone is really the top, and here in my opinion Samsung beats Pixel. Plus, the other thing is just that you can use the S Pen to take a picture of yourself remotely. This is also a very cool thing. It seems to me that there is a shutter lag in S23 Ultra. There is a noticeable delay between tapping the shutter button and the phone capturing an image. This is especially noticeable when trying to capture an object in motion in poorer conditions. However, it's better than on the S22 Ultra. Perhaps they will be improved with the updates. The wide angle also does very well. Here the colors difference between the wide lens, the main lens and the zoom is really already small. So this is a plus for Samsung. And then, of course, there is the issue of zoom. Actually, up to 30 times is very good, above 30 times is more accuracy. It is known that the space zoom 100 times is already more for viewing some hours on the clock or some writing on the board. Night photos, in my opinion, are also improved because Samsung is able to expose the photo for a shorter time, so there is simply less risk than we move our hand while taking a night photo, so this photo just comes out very well. We don't have as many those red flares as on the Pixel 7 Pro. We also have astrophotography here, but despite everything, I still have the impression that Pixel, when it comes to the astro, performs a little better. On the other hand, let's remember that Samsung is just starting out when it comes to the astrophotography. What I also like is that we have the function that we have in the iPhone, that is, we can cut out, for example, ourselves from the photo and send it to another person. We have this in the Samsung app. And now the question, is this the best camera for photos? I think maybe it's not much the best, because there will be some phones like Pixels or iPhone, which in different conditions, in a different shots, one will take a better photo and in the another conditions, another phone takes better photo. But I think this is certainly the most versatile camera you can find, because you have really everything you need here. And now the video. It seems to me that video is something that Samsung has probably worked on the most out of the whole photo video issue here. Really, Samsung's video now looks great. I'm not just talking about regular 4K, but I'm even talking about 8K. It really looks very good. But the only thing that annoys me a little is in 4K 60 frames we can switch between lenses. In 4K 30 frames we can. While in 8K 30 frames I expected that there would be no this switching between lenses. The lack of this in 4K 60 frames disappointed me a little. But the video quality itself is really great. And now the battery. I remember when I was waiting for my piece, because my piece was going from Poland to Malta, my friends who already had these Samsungs tell me we have 8, 9, 10 hours screen on time. So I thought, hey, you're really talking about Samsung? And I will tell you, I thought to myself, with me it is impossible. Well, and of course I was right. I even made the factory settings after a week because I thought to myself it's impossible that they have 7, 8, 9 hours of screen on time and I have 4, 5, 5.5 hours. That was my maximum. However, despite this, I can only say that this phone on the battery lasts really well, because at the time when I have 2 SIM cards and during the day I'm on LTE between 6 and 9 hours. At the end of the day I have between 30 to 60% of battery. I wasn't able to kill this phone in the day, no matter what I was doing. But my screen on times are always worse than others. At my place in Malta, signal strength is not the best. The Polish card is constantly looking for the networks to connect to. Unfortunately, it is the case that if you have poor signal, then somewhere it drains the battery more. And now the conclusion. Would I recommend this phone? I think this year I can say yes, I would recommend this phone. I know that it's not of the cheapest phone because the price is quite high. In general, the prices of smartphones have gone up a lot, actually, except for example, Pixels. Someone may ask me, it is worth it to change the Pixel 7 Pro for this Samsung? It depends, because if the Pixel meets all your requirements, then changing the Pixel to Samsung, you will not feel some huge advantage in, for example, camera. But if there are things you will use in Samsung that is S Pen, or you just miss, like me, such a really good zoom, then it's worth it. The truth is also that Samsung now is a complete phone. This is the first phone that has everything that I really expect from the phone. So I just sold the Pixel 7 Pro. Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra stays with me as daily phone, but how long it will be stay with me, I don't know. But at this point, I'm very happy with this Samsung S23 Ultra. So from my side, this is all. Thank you for being here. Of course, leave a comment if you want to. We will see in the next videos. See you.